Hello everybody, it's me. I was in school this morning and I thought I would get The Explorer so that we can finish the book off together because I was a bit sad that we never got to finish it. Don't know what happens to these poor children stranded in the Amazon and we need to find out. So I think I'm going to read this to you a couple of times a week. I'll post the videos on the VLE so that we can all listen and hear together. If you have a book, you might know the ending already, but I thought it would be a nice thing to do. So, we're going to start on the page called Tarantulas, because I feel like we might have started this, but I can't really remember. It feels ages ago. So we're going to start here. I'll only read a bit, otherwise the video will be too big. You're currently balanced in my fruit bowl, because I don't have a stand or anything for my phone, so if you fall over, I'm very sorry. Okay, let's go. Tarantulas. By the time Fred got back, the others were awake and furious and eating. It is difficult to look angry and chew at the same time, so they put down their bananas to glare at him. "Where were you?" asked Lila. We thought he might have been cutting off your fingers," said Con. Fred explained about the trap, about the statues, and proffered the berries as a peace offering. By the time they'd finished spitting out the berries and Max had finished miming being sick on Fred's shoes, Con and Lila had stopped glaring quite so ferociously. Lila offered him 3/4 of a banana. "We found them over there. There's a tree behind that cluster of stones where the earth shows through. There were 5, but we only took 3, in case they belonged to," she gestured with her head up towards the statues, "him." The banana was a little green, but Fred preferred them that way. He ate as slowly as he could, but it was difficult. Bananas were very rare at home. It tasted of comfort. A light thumping echoed across the city square. It was the Explorers stomping down the centre of the citadel, heading in their direction. They began frantically tidying themselves, Con raking her hair with her fingers, Lila straightening back his fur. Max licked his forearms like a cat. At that point, several things happened at once. The Explorer came closer. He didn't, in fact, seem to be looking at them. He seemed lost in thought, staring upwards at the canopy as he walked. A rustling made Fred look away, down at the ground, and a snake reared up suddenly from behind a fallen branch. It stood straight up like the periscope on a submarine. It was violent green with a whitish belly. Its eyes were red. Fred gave a hiss and gestured to the others. They froze. "Don't panic," whispered Lila. "Snakes don't attack, remember?" Fred backed away. It came up over the trunk, its neck still a stalk heading towards him. It didn't seem to like him staring. "I think the snake might not know that," whispered Fred. The snake started to glide across the log towards them. Fred's breath halted in the middle of his throat. He stared around wildly for a stick. The Explorer walked straight past him, chewing on a stick with fierce intent. Without pausing in his stride, without seeming to take aim, he pulled a rock from his pocket and threw it at the snake. It cut through the air and struck the snake in the neck. The snake slumped to the ground. The Explorer kept walking. He didn't look back. His eyes returned to the canopy overhead. Fred stared at Lila, at Con, and saw his own shock reflected back twice over. "Where did he learn to do that?" whispered Lila. "And why?" hissed Con. "I thought he'd rather we were all dead. It would be more convenient for him." "Don't you say that," said Max. "You can't." His face was full of righteous fury. "He killed the snake for us, and he's mine." The Explorer stopped walking, and his head whipped around to look at them. Con's mouth snapped shut, and she backed behind Fred, but the man's eyes were on Max. The Explorer strode back towards them. He bent, picked up the limp body of the snake, and thrust it into his pocket. His voice was abrupt and without gentleness. "I have no wish to have it on my conscience if you die. Have none of you any idea what to do if you see a snake?" "No," said Fred. That should have been fairly clear, he thought. The Explorer sighed. "For future reference, walk away, backwards, as fast as you can. Don't run, and hum as you go." "You want us to serenade a snake?" said Con. "Why?" "They don't like the vibration, or if you can kill it, it makes a reasonable dinner. If you really plan to make the journey to Manaus, you should know that. There are a great many things you need to know how to do. Can you fish?" "No," said Fred, "not really." "Can you hunt?" "No," said Lila. "Can you set traps? Any of you except Fred, who should now know." "No," said Con. "Why would we be able to? I live with a great aunt. She doesn't trap anything except dust and mice, but she doesn't eat them." Lila grinned at her, her wonky teeth shining conspiratorially. "I see. The explorer drew in a breath, a heave of air that seemed to cement a decision. Right then, come with me. Just Con, said Lila, or all of us? All of you, even Fred, despite his idiocy. His eyes were hard, even the miniature cataclysm in the cardigan. He means you, Max, said Con. I found a nest, said the explorer, and I will share it with you, but I want to be clear, this is the only help I will give you. I have no time to waste on children. A nest of what? Said Lila. She scooped Backer up and settled him in her arms. He grasped hold of her upper arm and rested his nose in the crook of her elbow. You'll see. You'll see, Fred thought, as they marched in single file behind the explorer, half running to keep up. You'll see were not reassuring words when spoken by someone whose fur coat still had the feet and faces detached. I'm going to stop there because it's nearly 6 minutes of video and I don't know how much VLE can handle. But just before I go, I thought I would just show you who is lying on my lap. There she is. Oh, hello Daisy. Readjusting. I will read the next bit later on this week. Bye.